This is my iPhone 13 Pro with widescreen issue. As you can see, it's now in maximum brightness. And just to be clear, it's not that. Because when you flick the silent switch, it vibrates. And if there is an incoming call, you might be able to answer it by sliding where the slider is supposed to be. And you can even turn it off in a way that used to work for you. Moreover, let me just do this live demonstration for you. This is a magical lightning to Type-C cable, and I connect it to my Mac, and with the help from some of the third-party apps or the native one like the QuickTime Player built in the Mac OS, and I select the feed to be the screen of my iPhone. Boom! The iPhone is now mirroring to the QuickTime Player. So basically, this display is now displaying what this display cannot display. I can navigate, I can switch between the application, and I can tap the icon just like this. I take a guess of where the icon is, and I can open the application. Surprising, isn't it? Now it just further proved that this problem is standalone and it's the display's problem. And inside the display, the touches is working fine, but the display is malfunctioned. The rest of the phone is working perfectly fine, just like this. So in this iPhone, I made a list of what I need to talk about in this video. I hope you don't mind. So first, how did it happen? It happened 1 month ago. I was in a nearby city with my friend, and he was checking the latest phone, the latest product of Huawei in one of their shops, and I was right next to him. That means I was inside the shop too. So I was ordering a cup of coffee. At the moment that I was about to pay for the coffee, the screen flickered. Sound familiar, isn't it? Just like many of you who encounter this problem, the screen flickered for 1 or 2 seconds and then it turned white completely.
然后你还要看一下现在是在哪个门店出现的情况。他过敏。
What is going on?
他过敏了。
The first thing I did after this happened is to perform a forced restart by pressing the volume up, down, then long press the side button. It turned off to the dark screen naturally, but it lit up in a completely white screen. At that moment, basically, I know it's helpless, and the only thing I can do is call Apple support and head to the Apple store or some of the service centers. That is the story comes later. Anyway, so just like many of you, there is no liquid or external damage to my phone. It shines like diamonds, no scratches, no external hit, no penetration. This problem happened all of a sudden. I've been trying multiple channels available. The first thing I do is contacting Apple support by calling Apple Care helpline, and I desperately find out that Apple just created a perfect loop for whoever suffering from this problem. You call the Apple helpline, and there will be an advisor who answering the phone call. They will run some online diagnostics, how it works. They will ask questions like, what were you doing before it happened? Did you update the operating system? Were you indoor or outdoor? Does it even matter? Whether it's related to a certain app or it just white all the time. Of course it's white all the time, and etc, etc. Then they will ask you to reset your phone or reinstall the whole iOS. They will kindly ask you to make a backup, but how can it happen? It's white and I cannot navigate if I didn't find out this method. But none of this will help, because I tried it all, and once they realize that they cannot help you to fix this problem online or with a cell phone call, they will guide you, they will redirect you to the service centers or the Apple store. And when you got there, they charge you. You get charged for some parts that you cannot even make damage to. Then you refuse to pay and you decided to call Apple support once more, and you got the advisor. He or she or they just ask you the same question all over again, and you request for a senior advisor. The senior advisor make no promises, and maybe days later they call you back, says there is no way that they can have your charge waived or make any exception for you. No exemption will be made, and you have to go to the service center or the Apple store at once more and pay for the charge. And if you refuse, that you got into this perfect loop again. I called like 4 or 5 times to ask help from the senior advisor, but they provide the same solution that they ask me to go to the service center or Apple store. The next thing I do is go and dig up on the social media and the internet. I did find out some interesting fact, maybe theory. It goes like this. Samsung provided defective display to Apple, and there are serial numbers started with G9N and G9P. And for those who haven't encountered this problem, you might connect your phone to your Mac or PC, then maybe download some supported third-party app and check out whether your screen is from Samsung and start it with such number. Based on the social internet investigation, the display I just mentioned above, they were assembled and distributed to such market. Because I've been monitoring the social media, most of us, the victims of this widescreen issue, we are from India, Malaysia, the region of Taiwan, and mainland China. But of course, you cannot see any posts from mainland China. Basically, we argue and discuss this on our social media platform like this. I got a theory. It's simple yet solid. I believe some branches of products are assembled with these defective screen and distributed to certain markets, which happen to be the market that I just mentioned above. I did adopt some method or an approach to make some noise about this problem. I wrote to Tim Cook, and days later I received call from Shanghai, and it's the executive department of Apple. They call me back in respect of me. They tell me they will not support my request, like waiving the charge or get this done free of charge. And I asked them, so why are you making this call to me since you are not solving this problem? They said there's nothing they can do. Of course, I tried some media like 9to5Mac and The Verge. I taped them with emails, but they don't respond. So now it's been 1 month. All I want to ask is, Apple, WTF? If you claim it's not a widespread issue, it's not a global problem, fine, but clearly if you do have a social media, you can check how many mentions are there to the Apple support and how many posts are there before September, and there should be a service program. You denied it to be a global problem, fine, but clearly from the social media, plenty of people from some places are being impacted, undeniable, and you are not taking any actions. That was weird and irresponsible. I don't know whether you were battling with Samsung or LG or any one of the supplier in your supply chain. I don't care. What I do care is, please just take your responsibility and take your customers like me, like us, seriously. Don't ignore this obvious issue. It's happening. We as customers are suffering. Please just take your responsibility when you claim your product to be durable and hold its value. Hold its value? Honey, how does it make you feel? Please just take your responsibilities and get it done.